Backstage at Rock on the Range. It is day number 3. It's Matt with the Rock Station Z93, and I am joined by Jon from Volbeat. And Jon, it's a bit of a wet one right now, but you'll take the stage here in a little bit. Hopefully it clears up.
Well, I hope so, but I heard it's going to rain when we go on stage, and it should clear up by the time Metallica goes on. So I guess they may have some special appointment with the big guy upstairs.
You've played in the rain before, though, so it shouldn't be a problem.
No, we've done it several times. So.
Now, what is it about Rock on the Range in particular? You guys have played this festival before. What is it that makes this kind of the premier rock festival in America?
Well, you tell me. We just get booked to play here. No, I mean, Rock on the Range is obviously, like you said, a huge festival. Probably the biggest, I think, in America for rock, hard rock, alternative rock, And you got a lot of variety of bands playing, and of course this year Metallica being, of course, the big guns this year. But there's always a lot of cool bands here. The vibe is good, everybody's friendly, so it's killer.
When you play these festivals, do you ever get a chance to be a fan and go watch, say, Biffy Clyro or somebody else on stage?
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I think, was it last year or the year before we played here where Anthrax was playing, so we went out and watched Anthrax, but normally we don't really get to see that many bands, but every once in a while we're lucky enough to catch some of them.
Now, obviously, you're on the Metallica Worldwide Tour right now. Spending much of the summer on that tour, what was it like walking on that gigantic stage for the first time? I mean, I've heard it takes like 3 days to set up everything.
Yeah, it's big. Let me put it this way: it's really, really big. But I think we adjusted pretty well, actually. The first show, of course, we had to find our legs on the stage, and they had this giant snake pit and the ramps and everything. But a few adjustments here and there, and it seems like the guys are really good at walking out in the front of everything, and we built a little boxing ring to it, so we adjust pretty well to it, actually, but it is an enormous stage.
Now tonight at Rock on the Range, they're not doing the full setup. Is it going to be a little bit different for you guys going on the smaller stage again?
No, I mean, we played yesterday in upstate New York in Buffalo. That was the smaller stage, so for us it doesn't really matter if the stage is big or if it's small. As long as we can fit our equipment, then we're good.
Now, with the Worldwide Tour, you've toured a lot with Metallica. You've played a lot of shows. How is this tour different? I mean, the fact that it's in stadiums makes it different, but how is this tour in particular different?
Obviously, we're the opening band on most of the days, so we get to play 45 minutes, but that's okay for us, it's nice for a change to just be an opening act and go out and play for 45 minutes, but apart from that, it's not really that much of a change. It's still, the Metallica guys are the same guys. A lot of the people in the crew are the same crew guys that we have met over the years, so it's kind of like coming home.
Is it still cool? I mean, Metallica is one of the biggest bands in the world. Is it still cool to be on tour with them and get to watch them night in and night out?
Absolutely. I mean, they are still firing on all cylinders, so absolutely. It's always fun to watch those guys.
Your album Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie has been out for a little while. Are you guys kind of catching the itch to get back in the studio to record again?
Well, I wouldn't say we got the itch for it, because being in the studio, for me at least, is kind of boring. But yeah, we're always working on new stuff, new songs, new bits and pieces, and we're already started working on new stuff, but recording-wise, I have no idea. Sometimes in the future.
The latest single is called Black Rose. You've got Danko Jones on that song. How did Danko get involved with being a part of that?
Well, we toured with Danko a couple of years ago. Got to know him over the years, and when the song came about, it was like, maybe we should see if Danko is available and if you want to do it. So we got in contact with him and said, hey, we got this track. Would you mind, adding some vocals to it? And he said, sure, why not? And he did, and it sounds amazing.
It does. It gives Volbeat a different sound. I mean, a lot of the Volbeat songs with Michael's vocals, people recognize it right away. Adding that Danko element kind of changes it up a little bit.
A little bit, but I mean, Danko has one of these voices that you recognize instantly.
Yeah.
Immediately you would go, oh yeah, that's Danko singing, so it's cool.
You're obviously one of the founding members of the band. How has the songwriting changed over the years as you've kind of progressed through your career?
It hasn't really changed that much. I mean, Michael still do around 99% of everything, and even to this day, sometimes he'll bring a full song in and we tweak it around a bit. Sometimes he basically only have maybe an idea for a riff and we'll jam it out in the rehearsal room. So that part hasn't really changed a lot.
Casper is new to the band. What does he bring to the fold in terms of writing, recording, being on stage?
obviously he's a much different character than Anders was, and that was one of the ideas, of course. There's no need to bring in a clone of what we had, and Casper is a different bass player. You know, he has a different sound to it, and he's got his own personality. You know, so I mean, he's just another guy, basically.
Obviously, the Metallica tour going to continue throughout the summer. What's the plan after you wrap up the dates with Metallica?
After that, we go home for a little bit. Then we go to Wacken in Germany to play that one. And after that, we are basically starting our own stadium tour in Europe for the first time, which will last from, I said, mid-August until early September.
Is it going to be strange going from being the opener on the Metallica tour to now headlining your own stadium tour over in Europe?
It might be. I'm not too sure. I mean, we doing these runs with Metallica. We are doing headlining shows in between because Metallica only do certain shows per week. So we do some one-off shows with Event Sevenfold, or we do our own shows over there here as well. So it's not going to make that much of a difference. We're basically going to keep the same stage set that we had in Europe last year. It's going to be bigger, but it's going to be basically the same stage set. So, but of course it's going to take a few adjustments to try to headline a stadium, but we'll see how it goes.
Jon from Volbeat, I know you've got to get on stage here in a little bit. You've got a few more interviews to do, so you've still got a little bit of time, right?
I got to play.
You've still got a couple hours, man. Hopefully the rain subsides a little bit.
I hope so too. But hey, I'm wearing my Misfits windbreaker, so
you're all misfits out here.
I am Misfits out.
We will see you on stage here in a little bit. Jon, thanks so much.
You're welcome.